Hey there, fools. It's Mizzah Tee. How you doing? Before we start this video, I just want to talk about a little game called Life Speed for the Nintendo 3DS that I got the pleasure to play thanks to Rebecca, a representative from Wee Man Studios, the developers of this game. Just to give you my quick impressions, I really enjoy this game. It reminds me of those classic futuristic racers from a bygone era, the 5th gen on the N64 and the PS1, games like Extreme G, F-Zero, and of course, the Wipeout series. But it also kind of reminds me of this PC game I used to play back in the day called Descent, because you're able to move a lot more. You have a lot of range of movement with this game. You can go up and down and left and right, obviously. You're basically flying through 3D space, similar to if you played Diddy Kong Racing back in the day and you used the planes and whatnot. The game is really fun. It's got tight controls, pretty nice visuals for the 3DS, and nice varied modes. And it's only $5.99 on the 3DS eShop. Just so you know, I am not in any way sponsored by Wee Man Studios. As I said, they did send me a code to play the game, and as a gamer, I just wanted to let you fools know it's a very fun game, and for that price, it's a no-brainer. So yeah, fools, go ahead and check out Lightspeed on your Nintendo 3DS. Now let's get the show started. Well, alright, in this video, we're going to be sharing with you fools our wonderful Switch wish list. You know, games that we would like to see come to the Nintendo Switch, of course. So, without further ado, let's get the video started. Take it away, Big T.
Alright, fools, so this is our list of dream games we'd love to see come to the Nintendo Switch. This list is in no particular order, and also, I'm going to try to avoid games that we expect to come, some games that have been somewhat announced, like No More Heroes, and games that we highly anticipate will show up, like a new Metroid game, or obviously games that we know are coming, like Zeldas and things of that nature. I'm also going to stick to Nintendo games that I would like to see come back in some way, shape, or form, games that haven't been around for a long time, or don't have that many entries in a series that we'd love to see. So let's get started. First up, we have Chibi Robo. Yep, that little quirky little robot that first got its start on the Nintendo GameCube. I'd love to see make a return on the Nintendo Switch. We got two 3DS games, one of them downloadable only, and the other also coming to retail, but was a very different game. It was a platform game, which is not what Chibi Robo is about. Chibi Robo is kind of hard to explain. It's kind of a weird, quirky kind of strategy type of game with some puzzle elements. It's such a fun game. It's a game that I don't think will take up too many resources and would be perfect for the Switch. Alright, next up, we have a 3DS game that I would love to see upported to the Nintendo Switch, and that game is Codename Steam. Codename Steam is an awesome turn-based strategy RPG game that came out on the Nintendo 3DS, and for whatever reason just did not get a lot of shine. It could have been the fact that the game was kind of confusing as far as what type of game it is. It is a melding of different genres, and perhaps it was just a little too quirky for some, being that there was all these legendary characters in it, melded with Abraham Lincoln in a crazy kind of sci-fi steampunk kind of story, and it was just maybe too much for some people, but I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite 3DS games, and I would love to see it get its shine on the Nintendo Switch. I think it would be a perfect game to come to that console. Next up, we have a more recognizable franchise that people have been wanting to see a return for a very long time, and that franchise is F-Zero. F-Zero is one of Nintendo's best and most underutilized franchises, getting it started on the Super Nintendo, giving us blazing speeds and really cool futuristic vehicles to customize, and unlike many games like this, it actually gave you in-depth characterizations of each driver. So cool. Now, many people, including myself, would find it very acceptable just to get an HD remake or remaster of F-Zero GX. It was so awesome on the GameCube. It was the epitome of the series, I think, and it would just be perfect to get that game with some online multiplayer. That would be enough. Please, Nintendo, you can do this. It's very simple. It won't take too many resources. Let's make it happen. F-Zero, baby. And next up, we have yet another racer that got its start on the N64, and we also haven't seen since the Nintendo GameCube, and that's Wave Race. Wave Race was one of my early Nintendo 64 titles, and I just loved it. It was so awesome. There was amazing water physics, even on that console way back when, and we've been pining for an HD version to see those awesome water effects in HD. We've been wanting that for so long. Let's make it happen. Come on, Nintendo, bring it back. And next up, a series that got its start on the Game Boy Advance and moved up all the way to the Nintendo Wii, and that is Battalion Wars. It actually started off as Advance Wars on the Game Boy Advance, Battalion Wars on the Nintendo GameCube, and also on the Nintendo Wii. Where is this series? We need it back. We don't know why it's gone. It did really well on all consoles that it came out on, and it just makes sense. I can't believe we didn't get a 3DS version of some type. But come on, Nintendo, it's now time to bring back Battalion Wars, Advance Wars. Hell, Advanced Battalion Wars. Let's make it happen. And here's a series that would be a no-brainer and would be very cool in both modes. That is the TV mode and on the go mode. And that series is Trauma Center. One of the standout games that really got the Nintendo DS started and really got people to understand all the cool features that console offered. And now being able to be taken on the go, when you take it off the dock and you're on the go, you can use the touchscreen to do your surgeries and all that cool stuff. And then when you're home on the big screen TV, you can pull out your Joy-Cons and do the same things you did on the Nintendo Wii with the Wii remote and do your motion surgeries that way. I mean, come on, this has to happen. This is a game that would really make the Nintendo Switch shine and show you the different ways you can use it from home to on the go. Trauma Center. Now here's a game I would like to see come back simply because it was an awesome game on the Nintendo GameCube. Came out really late in that console's life, I believe 2005. People were getting ready for the Wii, and honestly it should have just waited and came out on the Wii and maybe got a lot more shine there, but it kind of just got lost in the shuffle, and that game is Geist. Geist is an amazing GameCube game with a really cool mechanic of you being a soul, a ghost basically, that can possess many different characters to solve puzzles and traverse your way through the world. I had some gameplay of this game on the channel previously. Go check it out. If you never heard of this game, it's understandable because a lot of people just missed out on it for the reasons I mentioned. It'd be awesome just to even just get a HD remake of this game. You don't need a sequel or a new game in the series. Just to get an HD remake of this game on the Nintendo Switch would be great because, again, not a lot of resources needed to make this game happen, and it's just a really cool, very inventive, awesome game with really cool gameplay. We need it back. Geist. Next up is a game that needs no introduction. It easily has a cult following, and that game is Eternal Darkness: Sanity's Requiem. Now obviously we had a little bit of hope coming with Shadow of the Eternals. That whole Kickstarter, it was kind of a debacle, but this game is obviously a game that many fans of the original would love to see come back, even in the form of an HD remake, remaster, or continuance in the series. Maybe the Shadows of the Eternals thing could be real now with the Nintendo Switch. People just love this game, including myself. One of my favorite games on the GameCube, and we'd love to see it come back in some way. Eternal Darkness on the Nintendo Switch. Next up is a series that is also pretty well known, started off on the NES, and that is Excite Bike. Now, Excite Bike also showed up on the Nintendo 64 in really good fashion, but it was kind of more of a simulator, and that was fine. But I would love to see it return to its more arcadey roots on the Nintendo Switch. An Excite series actually started on the Nintendo Wii with Excite Truck and Excite Bots, but we want Excite Bike, Nintendo, so bring it back for the Nintendo Switch. Now here's a series that fans have been begging for a long time, and we finally got a re-entry on the Nintendo 3DS with Sakurai heading up a team, and that is Kid Icarus Uprising. Kid Icarus Uprising was an awesome game on the Nintendo 3DS. I don't think it got the shine it deserved. It kind of got lost a little bit in the shuffle, and honestly, this game should have just been on the Nintendo Wii U. The controls, let's say, took a little bit of getting used to, and would have just worked way better on the gamepad or a traditional kind of setup, and this would be a perfect game to again port to the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, this game was already a portable game, so it will work out fine when you go in the Nintendo Switch portable mode. Had a really good online multiplayer mode, and would also benefit a lot from being on your big screen and being a traditional game on your home console. And next up is yet another Nintendo 3DS game that just felt like a console game and probably should have been on the Wii U, and that game is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. This game is just so well done, extremely polished, the graphics are great, Luigi's animations are hilarious and they're perfect. The gameplay is fun and inventive. I would just love to see, if not a sequel, again an upport of this game for the Nintendo Switch. The online multiplayer for this game was also really well done. It would just be perfect on the Switch. I just need to have this game on a home console. It was just that good. If you don't have it for the 3DS, go out and get it. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, or maybe a sequel. Let's make it happen. Next up, we got one of my favorite series of sports in the realm of Nintendo, and that is Mario Golf. Mario Golf for the N64 is one of my all-time favorite sports games. It actually taught me and gave me an understanding of the rules and whatnot in the game of golf, which I always thought was really boring, and to some degree I still do, but I just love Mario Golf because it was, quirky and over the top and, kind of very arcadey and made golf really fun. And like I said, I really learned the game playing Mario Golf. And Toadstool Tour on GameCube was also just as good. Camelot is really good at this game. I'm not sure if Camelot's still around anymore. This series needs to come back in a big way. The Mario Sports series, period, in a big way needs to come back for the Switch, because they all were really well done. Sluggers game, the baseball game, the basketball, all that stuff, all that needs to come back. It would be a nice fit on that console, and I would love to see it. Now here's another throwback to a console long ago, and that console being the NES. And this game has been uttered from many years now, and it's surprising to me because it's another one of those games that came out basically at the end of a console's life cycle and got lost in the shuffle of the Super Nintendo. And this game, or this series I should say, is Star Tropics. Star Tropics 1 and 2 are two of the best games you'll find on the Nintendo NES. One of the reasons for that being is that the hardware was basically mastered when these games came out. So these are some of the best looking games, best controlled playing games. These games were really tapping the hardware and really pushing it to its limits and made for a really good series of games. I would just love to see an HD remaster of these two games, like maybe a double pack, Star Tropics 1 and 2. Perhaps done by, licensed out and done by maybe like a Yacht Club Games, because they seem to really understand this era of games. And I'd love to see a Super Nintendo HD style version of Star Tropics 1 and 2. Not sure if there's a fervor for a new entry in the series. That would be fine too, but I would love to just see these two games brought back, remastered and done by a development studio like Yacht Club Games, because they seem to, like I said, really understand this era of gaming. With Shovel Knight, yeah, that would be great. And Nintendo themselves wouldn't have to do it. They can license it out, have it done, kind of like with Sonic Mania, what's going on with that. This is the type of series that would really benefit for that type of situation, and I would love to see this on the Nintendo Switch. Now this is a big one here, and I promise I didn't try to save this until towards the end, because there's actually another game I want to talk about after this that would hopefully come to the Nintendo Switch, and this game is Star Fox. Yes, Star Fox, I believe, will show up on the Nintendo Switch at some point, and it just needs to. Now, we all know Star Fox Zero got mixed reactions because of the controls and perhaps maybe even the graphics and the lack of online multiplayer. To some extent, I agree, because before the game was revealed and actually came out, I did a really long documentary on Star Fox, starting from the original one up into the 3DS Star Fox 64 remake, and go check it out if you haven't seen it already. It's really well done, if I may say so myself. And at the end of that video, I speculated and talked about what I wanted to see for the next Star Fox game before we knew anything about it. And one of the things I said is that I would like to see a continuation of a Star Fox Assault style game for this series. I love the way Star Fox Assault brought on the horizons of the Star Fox series, made it bigger, more grandiose, and allowed you to leave your vehicles and run around and use your blaster. Now, obviously, a lot of people didn't like that, but that was mainly because of the controls. The controls on foot were very difficult to use. And just fixing that, I think, would allow people to embrace that part of the gameplay. And of course, online multiplayer has to happen for this game, perhaps even online co-op. That would be brilliant. Just think about linking up with 3 or even 4 of your friends and taking on these levels, everybody in their own R-Wing, coordinating. That would be amazing. And I just hope this happens. I want Star Fox back, and that's the way I would like to see it come back. And last but not least, it just happened to turn out this way, mainly because of alphabetical ordering of my folder here. And that game series that I would love to see come back on the Nintendo Switch is Beautiful Joe. It was so quirky, so fun. You can give me Beautiful Joe 1 and 2 HD remake. If it does really well, a new game in the series. Platinum Games obviously was the studio behind this. They were still working on the Capcom at the time, and you can see a lot of elements of Beautiful Joe in the Wonderful 101. I just love this style of game, this quirky style of character. Beautiful Joe is a perfect game for the Nintendo Switch. Dream with me, dream big. We wish upon a star. Let's will it to happen. Come on, Nintendo, make us all happy and make these games a reality.
Well, fools, what did you think about our wonderful Switch wish list? Pretty cool, huh? Are there any games that you would like to see come to the Nintendo Switch? Let me know in the comments below, of course. And as always, thank you for watching and listening, fools, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, one more thing. Play Nintendo, fools.